I think that most people will agree with me when I say that national final season is one of the best times of the year to be a Eurovision fan. Honestly, there's just nothing better than sitting through mediocre songs, hosts that talks in a language that you don't understand, and Maltese text ads, of course, all for your favorite song to narrowly miss out on the win. Oftentimes, national finals aren't just a song selection. It's also a showcase of local culture, artists who are popular in the homeland, and for some, it can even become a tourism advert aimed at international viewers. And this might be why we've seen in recent years that more and more national broadcasters have welcomed an international audience to experience their shows. And it's actually gotten much easier to follow national finals in the last 2 years or so. More and more countries have actually started to either lift the geo-blog on their website or to provide a stream of the show either on their own YouTube channel or on the official Eurovision YouTube channel. And not only that, some have even started providing English commentary on their streams. Finland, Iceland, Luxembourg, Poland, Sweden, and Ukraine have all this year provided commentary for international viewers to follow along. Each country have their own way of doing the commentary, and some might feel more interactive than others, but the point is that they all exist to provide commentary for any fans outside of their country who wishes to follow their national final. And that's the topic of today's video, because I don't think it's an easy task to commentate a national final. You have to make sure that the viewers understand what's going on, but you also need to find a way to make the cultural and local references make sense for someone who has never tuned into this broadcast and someone who might not even have a lot of prior knowledge of the country or how they've done at Eurovision in general. So what does it actually take to do a good commentary track? And why do I think that these commentaries actually matter? Well, I sure have a lot of thoughts and ideas about it, but someone who knows a lot more about this than I do, that's Finland's own Jaakko.
My name is Jaakko Oleander-Turja. I am the English language commentator for UMK, but I also do a lot on our social media.
Jaakko has been the English commentator for the Finnish selection UMK for the past 2 years, and many, myself included, agree that his commentary is one of the best we have.
I was here at the office. I was just hired to be a social media and web journalist. But then there was a guy from Germany. From Germany's, public broadcasting company. And my boss asked me to keep him entertained, right? Because he was here visiting. He wanted to see how we do things here with UMK. So, we were talking here. And then my boss overheard our discussion. He thought it was a very funny discussion. He thought I was funny in that. And then like a couple of weeks later, like our main producer, Anssi Autio, he was like, Jaakko, can I talk to you for a second? And then I was like, oh, well, I'm getting fired. Great. And then he, we sat down and he was like, would you like to be the English language commentator for UMK? And I don't know, my life flashed, before my eyes. I didn't know where I was. And then I was like, yes, I would like that very much. And that's how we're here. Me, myself, and then Katri Norlin, my colleague, we interview the artists. So there's like a 2-hour interview that we do with the artists, where I ask them questions and Katri asks questions about their past and their art history and everything. And that's sort of the first thing that I do. From those interviews, I start also writing the commentary, because I find funny little things here and there. I learn to know the artists. So that's when it starts. So like September, I do get to know them very well. I do get to talk to them a lot, which helps in crafting the sort of, I learn what they think is funny, because I never want to, my commentary is kind of sarcastic and fun, but it's also very safe. So I never want to offend any of the artists, of course.
Commentating a national final has a lot of similarities to being a commentator at the actual Eurovision. Your job is to guide the viewers through the show, provide additional information about the performers and their songs, and it doesn't hurt if you can also provide your own funny bits as well. But when commentating national finals, there is also an extra aspect to it, which is that the program is of course originally intended for a local audience. Therefore, there might be references to local culture in the script that international audiences might not get, or interval acts who might be huge in their own country but completely unknown to everyone else. The commentator then have to find their own way to explain what's going on to the viewer, but as Jaakko pointed out when I spoke to him, sometimes it might be best to just leave some things out.
It's maybe not worth, going through the process of explaining, well, this joke is funny because, this city in the 1800s had a reputation of, nobody wants to hear that. So then I, add my own stuff. And when it comes to voting, Finns vote with the Yle app, right? And they can call in and send text messages. This is not relevant for most of my listeners because they're not Finns and they don't vote. So what has become sort of my shtick, if you will, is that when we go to the voting instructions, I always make fun of the wonderful charity that we're donating our money to. I think last year it was the Red Nose Day, and I said that they were, a plastic surgery nonprofit for Finns with deformed noses. This year it was Mieli ry. They help Finns with their mental health, but I said that it's like the Mind organization. Sounds like something run by a Bond villain. So I always make fun of our charities. What does that say about me?
No shade to any broadcaster in particular, but I often skip their commentary if it's just someone who translates everything the hosts say. I find it just a bit too chaotic and hard to follow, and yeah, I get to hear everything the hosts are saying, of course, but it doesn't always make sense when it's translated, and jokes definitely do not work when they're missing their original delivery. And while we're at it, talking over songs, that's definitely a no-go, and I'm not just talking about national finals, I'm also talking about commentating Eurovision in general. You know who you are. What I like about Jaakko's commentary is that he almost becomes a third host. The commentary is curated to the international viewer, and it feels tidily and naturally integrated with everything that's going on in the arena, so you don't need to think too much about it to enjoy the show. And it might not be for everyone, but I enjoy the extra layer of humor and jokes that he provides.
Nobody is tuning in because of me. That's what I think. I think people are tuning in because of UMK. It's such a great production. It's, the artists and everything. So it's not about me. And I don't want to make it seem that way. So it is a very fine line. My comedy is more like if you see something funny on the screen there, or if some of the artists or hosts say something funny, I sort of, maybe say a funny comment about that. But definitely I don't want to talk about myself because that's not why people are tuning in. So it is a very sort of...
But it seems that whatever Yle is doing, it's working. I've seen a lot of mixed feelings towards national final commentary in general, but it does seem like that the common consensus is that UMK with English commentary is worth a watch.
There's a sense of community there because I am basically alone in my little booth. I'm next to the Finnish commentator. But then because I get all these messages, it's a sense of, togetherness, which I love. And then, of course, after the broadcast, I get a lot of feedback. And then Yle gets, a lot of feedback because this is really a service that not all national finals provide to this extent. I have worked very hard and we have worked very hard to produce content and cater to our international audience, because my commentary, it's not just that I'm reading from a piece of paper, what the hosts are saying verbatim. For me, it's very important that the audience is actually entertained.
And I think one of the reasons why it is so popular is that Yle actually puts a lot of thought into making UMK as big and as accessible for everyone, Finns or not. While this video mainly focuses on the English commentary, Yle does also provide UMK commentary in several other languages. Swedish, Russian, Ukrainian, Northern and Inadi Sami, as well as sign language. And to them, it's just as much of a priority as the main broadcast on Yle 1.
We have to cater to groups that, the private sector doesn't cater to because for them, there's no financial interest. For us, it's sort of like a mission. The numbers aren't like billions and billions because there isn't, that many people who have, let's say, Northern Sami as their mother tongue. But that's not important. It's important that we do it. And there is this group that exists and that Yle really does cater to that group as well. And that's the special thing with public services. You don't stare at numbers and you don't stare at, how do we get profits out of this? but you just see like, oh, there's a group of people in our country that would really benefit from this. And then, we solve that problem.
They clearly want UMK to be a party where everyone is invited, and clearly what they're doing is working. UMK has gone from being a small show with only a little over 300,000 viewers in 2019 to a big party with over 15,000 spectators in the arena and an average of 1.48 million TV viewers in Finland alone. Of course, the improved quality of songs and the energy around Karia's victory in 2023 has helped, but in general, I think the amount of love and care that Yle has put into UMK in recent years have really made a difference. And the commentary is definitely a part of that. Making the show more accessible and showing that you care just as much about minority languages and international viewers, it gets people watching, and more importantly, you get people engaging and talking about the broadcast. And well, the more you get people talking and caring, the more of an incentive you have as a broadcaster to care. So why does all of this matter? The way I see it, commentary is an investment into the national final in general, and to me it seems like the ones who did it this year are clearly committed to make their national final a bigger and better experience, and something that's worth a watch for anyone who loves Eurovision. And if you want to do well at Eurovision, that could definitely be a step in the right direction. I think a lot of countries could learn a lot from UMK and from Yle. Not only in terms of the commentary, but also in terms of how much love and care is put into it. While I may not personally be into the kind of commentary that are more translations than anything else, I think it's a step in the right direction for the broadcasters. It shows that they want their national finals to be more than just a selection show, but they want it to be an experience that captures some of the same elements of local culture and community that Eurovision is all about. Here's the thing, the English commentary may not be for the die-hard fan. People like myself who have spent years watching national finals this way, either using VPNs or through some sketchy website or whatever, we're used to it by now, and we're used to looking for those visual cues to understand what's going on. But like I saw someone mention over on Blue Sky, don't underestimate the power of the casual viewer. Someone who may only really follow Eurovision around May, around the shows, they might see one of these national finals pop up in their sub feed because they're subscribed to the official Eurovision YouTube channel. And if commentary is provided, that may be enough for them to actually stick around and watch. My point with all of this is that a little bit more effort to make a show more accessible does make a difference. The recent popularity of UMK definitely helps to bring in a bigger and better artist each year, and the work that Yle continues to put into the show helps keep the momentum going. I do wish more countries would provide commentary in the way Finland does it, because I truly believe it could increase viewership and give the broadcasters a bigger incentive to do well. If you're gonna do a national final, at least put the effort into it and make it a show that has a broader appeal. I truly believe that the quality of your selection and the reaction to it, both online and with the general domestic audience, has a huge impact on the quality of songs that are sent in and who is willing to participate in general. And obviously, we want that. We want better songs, we want bigger artists, so that the quality of music at Eurovision can continue to improve. Thank you to Jaakko for participating in this video, and in general, thank you to everyone who has made their national finals more accessible this year, either by removing the geo-block, streaming it on YouTube, or even the ones who have provided commentary that I've talked about in this video. This was a topic that I personally found very interesting, and hearing Jaakko talking about it with such enthusiasm, that was really nice to hear. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, subscribe for more Neon Pavilion content, and I'll hopefully see you guys very soon. Take care.